we will bring you the final of the women's quad. You can see the lineup there, and we're going to go quickly across the crews.
In lane 1, Germany. Volz, Goodfleisch, Menzel and Greiten. In lane 2, Switzerland, Schweitzer, Walker, Dupre and Lucerne. In lane 3, Great Britain, Henry, Scott, Anderson and Brayshaw. Lane 4 from the Netherlands, Yusufo, Doulemans, De Jong and Paulus. Lane 5, the People's Republic of China, Chen, Zhang, Liu and Chu. And lane 6 from Australia, Meredith, Cronin, Goulet and Rowan.
Well, we're hearing the call over. The crews are coming forward. This is a tough race to call. Great Britain are the world champions. They were well beaten at World Cup 1. They turned it around at the European Championships. The crew from the Netherlands won here on the Roxy last year, the first time they put together this combination. So I'm expecting very close things right across the field as we ride with this Great Britain crew. Georgie Brayshaw in that stroke seat. All these crews did 135 pretty much to the first 500 in the preliminary race. So hard to know too much form guide across the field, except to say that I think it's going to be pretty close, Sarah.
Yeah, fast start across this field.
It's China, who we can see here in lane number 5. They had the gold medal in Tokyo, 2022 world champions. 2023 really wasn't that year. Take a look there. That's Leila Yusufu in the bow seat of that Dutch quad. She will want to stay really connected and close to the British. It's China, who I think are going to have a small lead. Great Britain pretty much with them. As I was thinking, it is going to be pretty close. One of those great sculling races to be in, where all these quads very much overlapping, coming up towards the first 500-meter marker.
Yeah, the Swiss quad, coached by Nicholas Lloyd, Australian coach, will be heading back to Australia as the head coach of Mercantile Rowing Club following the Paris Olympic Games. But leading through the first 500-metre marker, it is the world champions from Great Britain, just narrowly over China, as you say, Greg. They were the Olympic champions, China, coached by Paul Thompson, but haven't really seen the form from them that we had expected up until this point. But perhaps this is a new look quad. Perhaps they have the ability to get themselves back into that world-beating form that we saw at the last Olympic Games.
Well, as it is, it's Great Britain. You can see from the graphic, have just eased that bow ball in front, just ahead of China. But the Netherlands, I think, look ominous. We had a good look at Bente Paulus in the stroke seat of the Dutch boat. She looked calm, just as these Dutch scullers have done, just as we saw within their men's double that just took out the gold medal. We're looking at that Swiss quad that you spoke of, coached by Nicholas Lloyd, the first Swiss quad to qualify for the Olympic Games, first women's Swiss quad to qualify for the Olympic Games. Germans trying to get their sculling program back onto track where it should be in their minds. The Germans always so dominant in women's sculling, particularly in this quad. They haven't been able to get back to those heady heights. They're hoping this German crew could look to do that for them. We're coming towards the 1,000-metre mark, Sarah.
Yeah, the fastest boat on the course is the leading crew. It is the world champions from Great Britain who will lead this fleet through the 1,000-metre mark and the halfway point. Coming in second, China, then the Dutch, then Germany, Switzerland and Australia. And I was talking to Tim Deller yesterday about this British quad, and he was telling me that Georgie Brayshaw, at the age of 15, had a horse riding accident. She was in a coma for 9 days, and when she came around, the doctor said she wouldn't be able to walk, speak or feed herself again. She spent a year recovering and then went on to pick up the sport of rowing at university. A remarkable story, and here she is stroking this quad for Great Britain. But here we see, you mentioned her earlier, Bente Paulus from the Netherlands in that Dutch crew. I think they've just moved through China.
Yeah, you can see it on the graphic that the Dutch have just moved through the Chinese. As you said, so many stories across so many of these boats that these individuals have been through, now bringing it together in these crews, and that's what it's about, because they're fantastic athletes. Seeing the Australians here at the moment, it's not quite clicking the way they need it to. They're towards the back of the field.
Yeah, the Australians were bronze medalists in Tokyo. We have two of those athletes in there, Caitlin Cronin and Rowena Meredith, so looking to find that form that took them to a medal at the Games in Tokyo.
Well, we're taking another look at this Dutch crew. You can see from the graphic, it looks to me like they are moving and starting to close that gap on Great Britain. It's a big third quarter that this Dutch quad have put together. They're digging deep, they're sculling so well, so cleanly, keeping that boat up out of the water. But here we go, 500 metres to go. The field, I think, has closed up on Great Britain. It's about half a length to the Netherlands, then it's China.
Yeah, well, it looks as though China is slipping back, but the Dutch are starting to challenge Britain now. Are the British going to be able to hold on to this, or is a Dutch charge going to come through? These two nations have been dominant at this World Cup series so far.
Saw Hannah Scott there in the 2-seat making that call. She has been sat in that 2-seat as world champion last year. Coached in her early days by Jeffrey Bones from Ban Rowing Club. So many of these athletes who will have had great junior experiences. Now here they are on the world stage. That Great Britain crew, only there because of the support that all of them get. All these athletes and all these boats, the efforts and the work that's put in their junior coaching days. Now they are on the world stage, coming in, hitting those red buoys, and Great Britain have moved on the rest of the field. It's now up to a 10-metre gap. You can see it as everyone starts to move into their sprint, coming down towards the line.
And a deceptive camera angle there, but we can see it is still the British in the lead. There is a charge coming from the Dutch, but it looks as though the Chinese are also still making a pushback. But look at the far side, Germany, and here come the Swiss. The Swiss are stepping it up to 44 strokes per minute. This field is compressing as they're coming into the line. I think the British are okay, but look at the rest of the field closing up as we're driving down to the final few strokes, Greg.
Here we go, last few strokes of the line. Great Britain in control of this women's quadruple sculls race. The world champions are the champions here in Lucerne. Netherlands get the silver, and China, wow, just held on from a very fast finishing German and Swiss crew who couldn't quite delight the home crowd. Delight for the British as they turn around. Nods from Lola Anderson. What a satisfying race that was. They eased their way through from about 500 gone. Britain just took control and just inched their way away from the rest of the field.
We see a little wave there from Lauren Henry in the bow seat of the British quad.
Well, the British quad have had a lot of expectation on them, you know, world champions the year before. It's always difficult coming into Olympic year. Chinese quad, as you said, looking to get back to that Olympic gold medal winning form that they had for Tokyo. And the Dutch who put this combination together, and it went so well for them at Lucerne last year. I remember talking to Leila Yousafou, and they were so delighted that they've made the move from the double where she'd been with Rose de Jong. And they've been really competitive in that too, but they put together this quad combination. Great Britain put together the quad combination as well. And it's just a little bit quicker for Great Britain at the moment. Confirmation there of that win for Great Britain by 2.3 seconds in the end. The rest of the field came back, and they did move away in the last 500.
Let's hear it for our medalists.